Gang, gang. The KBO Breeze. Let's go. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Time FK7, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because today we're going to be reviewing an electric bike from KBO. And I have my assistant with me, Aubrey.
Peekaboo.
Let's go. So out of the box, it's a pretty big box and you do have to install some of the pieces together. The only thing that I found that was the hardest was probably putting the front wheel onto the bike because, you know, I'm obviously not a bike person. I'm more of a car kind of guy. But with the installation of this, it's pretty simple. For a normal person like me, it'll probably take you about an hour if you read instructions. And there's also a guide that you can find on YouTube on KBO's website, which they'll show you how exactly you can install this bike. So if you also need a video on a detailed installation, KBO has one on their channel. So be sure to check that out if you become stuck on installing this bike, because that's what I did when I was stuck with installing this bike. So now the only thing left to do, since we're already done, is to inflate the tires. All right, I think it's done. The only wires you're going to see are in front of the handlebars. The battery, you can lock it in place. You can get either a Samsung battery or an LG battery. That's why a lot of people tends to steal these batteries, and that's why KBO decided to put like a little battery lock, which is really convenient. And speaking of battery, you can always detach this battery if you wanted to charge this. That way you don't have to have an extension cord going out of the house and into the bike, or taking your bike inside of your house and charging it there, which is super convenient because again, this bike does weigh 62 pounds. So it's a little bit heavy for the average person. And I love how this seat feels. They use like a gel, it's like a cushion. So like the first time riding this bike, it was really comfortable. It has an upright seating position, and I felt really comfortable riding this bike around town. This is a step that I need to take to further encourage me to actually lose that extra weight. I do have a New Year's resolution for 2022, and that New Year's resolution is to lose at least 30 pounds because I've noticed even in my videos a year today ago, I looked a lot skinnier, but right now I'm a little bit rounder. And of course, pre-COVID, I was nice and fit. So obviously I gained a lot of weight. Now with this bike, it's gonna help me, it's gonna encourage me to go outside even more and like exercise, go to the park, go to the trails and ride the bike. Of course, we're gonna have the pedal assist on. And of course, over time, I might turn off that pedal assist. That way I can just use the bike as it is, non-motor wise. So anyways, let's talk about the bike. So what I really like about this bike is, of course, this throttle right here. Just like on a motorcycle, you have the throttle on the right, but on this bike, there's no clutch because obviously it's not a motorcycle, it's just a regular commuter bike. And speaking of commuter bike, this is not a sports bike. It's not like your competitive racing bike or your trail bike. This is just for everyday transportation for commuting. That's why it's called a commuter bike. So I'm gonna demonstrate to you guys what the throttle is. So if you just twist this throttle alone, then the wheels will spin. You don't even have to pedal. So let me just demonstrate it right here. Odometer right here on the left side of the handlebar, as well as we have our two brakes. Of course, we have our front and then our rear brakes. The only thing that I can complain about the odometer is that the total distance is shown in kilometers while the speed is shown in miles per hour. So we have two different units there. So that's the only thing that I have complaints about this odometer. I like how it has the battery meter, and I like how it's nice and big. And then this bike actually comes with a little rail on the back so that you can be carrying things on the back of this bike while you're in the city or you're transporting some items. Like for example, if you're doing DoorDash or Uber Eats, you can just put all that stuff in the back. And I feel like the materials that they used on the bike is really solid. They didn't use any cheap materials, or like they didn't really cheap out on any of the parts. But going back to the bike maxes out at 22 miles per hour. That's the top speed, just throttle wise, but obviously you can pedal to go faster. So obviously this bike is not for like if you're looking to have a faster bike ride. This is more of a casual, this is more of a commuter bike if you're at the city, or if you just want to go in the bike park, go ride on the trail. And I love this bike because it'll take you places where you've never been before, because usually you get tired. But with the pedal assist, you get to go a lot more places while riding the bike, and you're having fun. And then I'm going to stop pedaling for a little bit, and I'm just going to go on throttle mode, twist the throttle, and the bike is just doing all the work for me. I don't have to pedal or anything. This bike can go up to 24 miles an hour, just throttle alone. Right now we're going uphill and we're going 18 miles an hour and climbing. We're at 20 miles an hour now. $22 miles an hour now. So a big thumbs up to this bike. So after spending about a day using this bike, my first impressions are this is a really cool thing. This is a really cool bike. At first it weirded me out because as I was pedaling, this bike was like actually assisting me, and like at first I felt like I was gonna fall because obviously I'm not used to this kind of thing. But over time I started to get used to it. If you bring it to the park, or if you bring it to a trail, you'll be able to travel up to 50 miles because the battery on this thing has a 30 to 55 mile radius, and it all really depends on how you use the bike. If you go full throttle, of course you're gonna get the lower end, but if you pedal and have that pedal assist for you, then obviously you're gonna go to a much higher mile radius. I really like this bike, and as a first-time electric bike user, I was never thinking of buying an electric bike before, but after using this, now I feel like trying out more electric bikes in the future. You guys should definitely try going out with an electric bike if you're planning on going anywhere this summer, or this spring even. So definitely worth trying out. I know this channel usually does car things, but I decided to do something with a bike just to show you guys how exactly it is to ride an electric bike if ever you're in the market of buying an electric bike. Speaking of market of an electric bike, I will be linking it down in the description. Again, thank you guys for watching. This is Time FK7. Peace out.